Hello, my name is Ben Cabot. Welcome to another adventure in My Father's Advice. Today's date is March 30th, 2023. This is a show of community interest engineered by the soundboard experience of Freddie Montalvo, broadcasting from the Binghamton University studio at WHRW 90.5 FM in Binghamton, New York, where the mountains are high, the valleys are low, and the rivers are ever flowing. The information you're about to listen to will be morally uplifting, educational, community-spirited, and worthy of modeling your life after. So please gather your family around the radio and take notes. We have two horsewomen and horse persons in the studio, one from Stable Movements and one from I Can Ride, and both of those are geared for people that have some kind of, I'll let them describe. Okay, Theresa, start with you. Introduce your full name and what your organization is about.
Hey, thanks for having us today, Ben. I'm Theresa Pedroso. I'm the owner of Stable Movements. I'm also a physical therapy assistant.
I see. And you are Beth Parks?
Yes, I'm Beth Parks, a physical therapist, and I've been working with Theresa for a long time, over 25. How old's Maya?
25.
25 years.
Wow. So the organizations have been doing this for that long?
We've been running Stable Movements for 22 years.
Wow. So tell us what Stable Movements is about, how you got into it, perhaps.
I work for Beth Parks as a physical therapy assistant, and we decided to introduce our community to hippotherapy and therapeutic riding. So we opened up a facility in the Binghamton called Stable Movements, and we offer hippotherapy, therapeutic riding, adaptive riding for 22 years.
Wow. So you were both physical therapists, just like in an office type atmosphere.
Well, we work with children, pediatrics, and we go to homes, schools, preschools, daycares, wherever the child is where we would see them. So we didn't have an office that they brought them to.
I see, yes.
We would go to them. And as Theresa mentioned, she was very interested in horses, so she wanted us to go learn how to do hippotherapy. So we went to a class and started learning, and then she had the initiative to try to build a barn, get horses, and get started.
Wow, so you did start from scratch practically.
Yeah, definitely. We purchased a house with some property and built the barn from scratch.
Wow. To me, that's inspirational. And I think in a college atmosphere like this, that the people can see that somebody can actually start from one avenue of their life and blend it into what their interests and hobbies are. And then it's not work. Right. It's more of you love what you do.
That's exactly
and nobody's going to get you out of it because this is the thing I was born for.
You're exactly right. I have 4 kids when I was starting this business, and it wasn't like work going down to the barn. It was my joy. So I would just go down every day. It was morning, noon, and night. You had to be there to help maintain the horses in addition to working down there with the riders.
Right. There's a lot just about horse care and the feeding and veterinary things that you have to do, and probably brushing them down because they love that, and you have to keep them clean because you have a student and you have a wide range. I heard you talking about somebody who was in the 20s.
Right.
Is this for all age groups, or how do you deal with it?
Right. First of all, you're right. Taking care of the horses is a task in its own right, and we have been blessed at Stable Movements to have a complete volunteer staff. Retired individuals, students from BU come up as well. We've really been blessed having that opportunity to keep it affordable for our community.
Oh, right, because if you had to pay everybody minimum wage by the hour,
right.
It's
we'd be
prohibitive.
charging $200 a session, and we can't afford that in Binghamton. So, yeah.
Do you have a lot of companies? The companies I work for used to participate and come by and do things like manual labor repairs and things. Are there a lot of groups involved that might do things like that?
Right. Like I said, we're affiliated with Binghamton University and a couple of different groups on this campus. And the Delta Engineer Group has come a couple of different times to help us do some kind of engineering, maintenance stuff, outdoor, water control.
Even had some Boy Scout projects come up and
help
put in a sign. And did they do the sidewalk too?
Yep, then a fencing, yeah.
When the kids are in the mode for needing something to do for Eagle Scouts,
Right.
if any Boy Scout leaders are out there, look up Stable Movements and find out what they need done,
Right.
and get their guys out there doing it.
We even had a the Golden Scout is for the female Eagle Scout, and she did a rock wall for us for our summer programs for special needs kids, and she put in a rock wall for us too,
Wow.
so the kids can ride. Yeah, we've had a really great support from this community. We've really been blessed.
Do you have like summer programs, perhaps camps and things?
Yeah, we do offer a Summer in Saddles program, so people can look us up on Facebook or on the internet at stablemovements.com. Contact us if they're interested. We keep it small. It's integrated special needs kids with typical kids, so it's an awesome opportunity.
Wow. Because everybody needs to know that despite any kind of perception of improper thinking, that even though they have some disabilities, they're still people. And
Right.
they have the exact same needs, maybe a little bit more in some cases physically, but the happiness feature, once you get on the horse, you just feel happy.
Right.
And that's one of the big reasons we started it, is that the kids with special needs, they feel like their world happens to them. Everybody's doing things to them. They're expected to work. And on the horse is one place where they have some freedom and some control, and that they can help control the animal that they're riding. I love the logo that we have for Stable Movements. It shows a horseshoe and then a horse with a rider on the horse and an empty wheelchair.
Wow.
So you get the child out of the wheelchair and give them some independence up on the horse, and it's just very empowering.
There must be special cranes or somehow you manage to lift somebody up. Or I know there are lifts to put people in pools. The same type of thing probably for a horse?
Yep, we've been blessed to also have a Hoyer lift put in. Our newly found I Can Ride non-for-profit sponsored that for us, and we were able to bring in a lift to lift up non-ambulatory individuals that we can't physically mount, so they can sit up and mount and ride a horse.
Right, right. So about how many people can you take in a week or a month, or how do you evaluate that, or it just comes and goes by the seasons, by the
So,
needs?
Yeah, we do get a little slower in the winter just because we do have some fragile or high-risk individuals that can't be in the cold, but we also have, I want to tell you, in the summertime we could have up to 75 riders a week.
Wow.
Yes.
That is a busy.
It's a busy facility, yep.
Is there a significant number of horses that you have, or how do you deal with all that? They
Right now
must-
we have 5 full-size horses and 2 little minis, yeah, but,
And they must take turns, or
right, they all have their own schedule, and specific horses go with specific riders, so,
Wow, that's a lot of coordination.
yeah, it keeps us busy.
So you must. It's my understanding, agriculture, farm, all that kind of stuff. You're there from the crack of dawn when the sun comes up to when the sun goes down.
Right, it's hard to go on vacation, because they're there all the time, right.
Right, right. You can't just walk away and say, "Oh,
You're
you know, we have a cat. You know, we have an automatic feeder. Bye, cat. See you in a week."
You're right. Only when they want to get petted, right?
Yeah. Well, you said you had some properties. There are a lot of acres. Do you do most of your stuff indoors or outdoors, or is it a combination?
We have an indoor riding arena where we do almost all of our hippotherapy sessions. We do have a small controlled trail that we might go out if the weather permits, but Binghamton is variable with its weather, so sometimes we get out on the trail, sometimes we don't.
Must depend on people's capabilities too, because you don't want to take somebody. I remember once my where I was staying at my uncle's place, and somehow, and I don't remember how the particulars happened, but there was a mule, and I was riding this mule, and it starts just galloping away, and I had no clue what to do, and it starts eating this lady's flowers, and she came out and was yelling at me. But so there's some risk somebody might get away if they.
Well, we have a variety of abilities, and we have a lot of staff there that handles the horse or sidewalks the rider, depending on their ability. Like Beth will do a hippotherapy session.
So for hippotherapy, generally one person leads the horse, and there's either 1 or 2 sidewalkers on one side or on both sides of the horse. So the child isn't trying to rein the horse or steer. They're just working on their muscles, whether it's learning to sit, improve their posture, improve their core strength, improve breathing and talking and reaching and many things. So
Some people maybe you have to give them a pretend bridle so they think they're doing something, but it's not connected.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll do that. It
sounds
depends. Each
sounds like a
session-
safe issue for the horse.
But we do have special needs adults and people that are physically able to sustain balance by themselves take the reins, like Beth said, and that gives them such autonomy that they now are in control of this 1,000-pound animal. For the first time, they're the one telling somebody what to do. Well,
Wow.
they're always being told, time for dinner, time for school, time for this, time. Now it's their turn to say,
You know
I
what?
am in charge.
Yeah, everybody else is the leader of them,
Right,
and now they're a leader of something.
Right.
And it's so empowering.
yep,
And I imagine that among all the therapies besides physical, it's also a mental therapy
You're right.
to them,
Yeah.
motivational.
Self-empowering, yep.
Right. The experiences, it just sounds, it's, the hair standing up on the back of my neck just thinking all the goodness that's happening to people that deserve a better life. And
Yep.
this provides a better life for them.
That's why it's been here for 22 years now. It's something that's needed in our community.
I understand we're keeping you, particularly Theresa, from a special event that's happening tonight. You are nominated as what was it?
Remarkable woman.
A remarkable woman, and there's some kind of announcements that's happening while we're on the radio that we're not going to know about because we're in the basement of the
Yeah.
Binghamton University. But I just think that both of you are remarkable in what you do and accomplish for people in need that have perhaps a greater need than just your everyday. You know, so many people are blessed beyond what they realize, and you're blessing people in a sacrificial way, and all your volunteers. So it's
Right.
commendable adventure.
Thank you. Yeah,
We've had many miracles happen at the barn.
So give us
We've
some
had,
examples. Yes.
Kids come in where the physician has said, this child will never walk. This child will never be able to sit by themselves. And they start coming to the barn and do the hippotherapy. One example, the grandmother became a volunteer and helps us with our organization, and that's what they told her granddaughter. And she started riding in September, and she took her first steps before Christmas independently.
Wow. Wow.
And, then they walked her into the doctor's appointment in January, and they were just shocked. They couldn't believe that she was walking. And now she's in kindergarten and doing, very well, walking through the halls. She continues to ride, and she loves it.
This gives them on the horizon of life. Sometimes there's nothing that you can look forward to as much as what these people are looking forward to, because that's their main outlet to happiness.
Yeah, we've seen it all. The grandmother actually is the president now of our non-for-profit I Can Ride Inc. She
Wow.
decided what a great opportunity it was for her granddaughter. She wanted to start giving out scholarships to people that might not be able to afford it, so they can experience.
Right, and I imagine something of this caliber of importance to people's lives. There's the opportunity to apply for grants and things like that, perhaps.
Right, we did get a grant through the Weissman's Foundation to help with that lift, and we are doing a chicken barbecue actually this April 8th down at
Whoa.
Lowe's on Upper Front Street. We're
Brooks
gonna-
Brooks Chicken,
Brooks
I think.
Barbecue,
Right,
yeah.
right.
So we're going to have that the day before Easter. So if anybody wants to come out and support some scholarships for our riders, that'd be awesome.
No, everybody,
Starting at-
it's an excellent location,
Yeah.
and I think you'll do well there.
Yep.
It starts at 11 o'clock in the morning till we're sold out, so come early. and
It's
get
probably
some
ribs
chicken.
and chicken, or
Just the chicken.
Just
half,
the chicken?
yeah, half chicken dinners, yeah.
Right, right. You can't beat Brooks Chicken.
Yeah, we know. It's yummy. Goes fast, so come early, yeah.
So what other kind of special, do you have any other special events planned, or when will your camping start?
We have 4 weeks of different summer programs. You can come at the end of June and beginning of July, and then again at the end of summer in August, beginning of September. So you can just look up on our website, stablemovements.com. We have the form there filled out. If you want to call me, you can call me. My information's there
And
as well.
It's just a day camp, or do you keep people over the weekend?
No, it's just half-day camp. It's a morning camp because we are integrated with typical and special needs kids, so we don't want to overwhelm anybody, and we keep
Right.
it small.
Right, I imagine too many hours on a horse will get you saddle blisters or
Yeah.
something.
Well, they learn a lot more than just, they don't just ride. They learn, it's an educational camp. They learn how to take care of horses and different aspects of horsemanship.
That is pretty neat. Do you do your own blacksmithing, or does
No,
do
I
you-
have a guy come in, and we don't have shoes, so he is a farrier. He just trims
Oh.
off the hoof. Yep.
Well, if you're indoors on soil, probably.
Yeah, we got a nice sand arena, and
Oh,
our little
nice.
trail isn't too crazy with rocks and stuff, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
We
it's,
have a vet comes in too, and so
it's pretty neat. 5 horses takes a lot of care.
Yeah, we had 7, and then 2 got a little bit too old, and I let them really retire with a friend of ours. So they went off, and they're in the greener pastures in a good way.
Yeah, yeah. Enjoying the fresh grass.
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you have enough property where they can eat on your land, or do you have to buy hay and all
Yeah,
that,
we buy hay every
and
year.
grain
Yeah,
and whatever they take?
yeah. Hay
Wow.
and grain, that's what they get every day. Lots of carrots and horse cookies.
Yeah,
That's one of the favorite parts of the riders is giving the horse a treat when they're done, and they bring a little bowl full of apples or carrots to the horse as a reward after they're done riding.
that
So-
is so neat. And this is all you do is take care of the special needs kids at Stable Movers, right?
Yeah, our
There's
main
no
focus is, hippotherapy, therapeutic riding, adaptive riding. We also
Right.
have a Special Olympics program that's coming up. That'll be in.
That is so cool.
Yeah, we'll have 15 adult riders. They have to be over 8, so we'll have a couple maybe teenagers, but most of them will be adults.
Special Olympics horse racing. I can't believe it.
Equestrian Special Olympics.
Oh, okay.
Not
It's none of
racing.
the jumps and over ponds and
Not
stuff.
at our place, but there are programs that do jumping with special needs kids. But
Wow.
we'll do a trail class and we'll do a equitation class with them. They'll practice for 5 weeks and then have a show. So if anybody's interested in that, yeah, it's June 3rd at our place. If you want to come and watch the
Wow.
event.
That is so neat.
Yeah, it's amazing. The kids learn a lot. You can't believe how quickly they can learn when they know there's a medal involved.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
They're great. They love
Certificates of participation and medals.
it. Yeah, I had 4 participants go to the Equestrian State Games in last October, and they did an awesome job for our program.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
so cool. I know the state fair has a lot of different things. They have horse shows and wagon shows, and I don't know if they had anything.
I don't know if they have any Special Olympics stuff
Oh,
up there.
probably
no.
not. Probably. I think they had a Special Olympics parade, maybe, or participating in the parade.
Yeah, they probably did come up to the parade. yeah.
That'd be a challenge to get the horses up there, and although people do it, but you probably can transport your horses if you had to.
Yeah, we don't really take our therapy horses anywhere, but I do have Ponies to Go is another business that we have up there that is 2 miniature horses that go out into the community. So we do birthday parties, weddings,
Oh.
parades. You might have seen us in the last St. Patrick's Day parade where they're right with the Rumble Ponies. Invite us to go with them.
Wow,
every year.
that's so cute.
Yeah.
You know, rumble ponies getting the little ponies.
So we have the little miniatures pull a cart and get all dressed up. It's really fun. Brings
Oh.
a smile to everybody's face when they're walking down the street.
Oh yeah, yeah. I imagine they wouldn't let you bring some of your students on a real horse. And
Well, I have a
ride
cart that they can ride, and I do have sometimes the kids come and ride, and I have a miniature cart that the horse pulls, so they sit in the back of the cart, and I drive them down the road. Yeah, it's
Wow.
fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good
Yeah.
time.
It does sound like it's pretty impressive. I'm going to have to pay attention to parades.
Yeah,
I used to only go to parades when my kids were in them, but
yeah, they're fun
oh yeah, yeah.
when the weather's nice, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. So how do you manage in the winter? Well, you have the indoor.
Mm-hmm.
Probably costs a lot to heat a barn.
We don't have a heated barn because we let our horses coat out into the winter coat, so it just doesn't make sense to heat up the barn. And most sessions are half hour, 45 minutes, so you can play outside in 30
Oh, yeah.
degrees. Just put your
Winter coat. You're talking about the horse
The fur.
jacket?
No, the
Oh,
fur.
okay,
They
that's what I was
grow in
wondering.
their winter fur. Yeah, so we don't trim them off like some show horses get trimmed off because they're going to be working extra hard, and then they get blanketed. So we do that sometimes, but the horses don't particularly care for blankets when they have their winter coat on because they're extra hot. So
Yeah, yeah. I imagine.
So in the winter, we just have the kids, wear layers, hats, gloves, and the warmth of the horse helps keep them warm too. And we don't ride if it's 20 degrees or lower. It's like 20 to 30 is iffy, but 30 and up we definitely do.
Yeah. So the horses are probably all passive horses. You never have a problem probably with galloping or.
well, they have their autonomy too. They could spook and get nervous just like most animals, but
Right.
they have self-protect. They're flight animals, but these ones come to us for some reason, and we just end up getting horses donated to us, or we did purchase a couple of them, and they're just the right horse for us.
Yeah.
They
Well,
fit into our
particularly if you're
program.
leading them around, you're much safer that way.
For the most part, yeah, they have a handler. There are a few riders that I have that are independent. They've been riding there for 10 years, so they're ready to move forward at different skill level. But yeah, most of the time we do have a sidewalker and a handler for kids that need extra support.
You mentioned your nonprofit agency. does this cost anything for the individuals that are riding?
Yes, there's a fee for the barn, and then if you're doing hippotherapy, the therapist will get a regular PT session fee as well. Usually that goes through different programs, but we have a couple community groups that are sponsoring us. G&E Therapies is one of the big therapy programs out here that offers hippotherapy at our facility. So there's other community groups like Springbrook and other ways for kids to get monies to go towards riding, adaptive riding.
Yeah, probably just apply for these different agencies
Right.
and it helps out.
Right, and our non-for-profit, I Can Ride Inc., is a scholarship-based program where you apply and then funds are allotted to you to come back and use at our facility.
So many of my hippotherapy riders do get the scholarships through I Can Ride.
Oh,
so
I
that
see.
makes it doable for the families. They wouldn't be able to. without
Right,
it.
and I would think that something, there might be Medicare or Medicaid or something can help a little bit if it's prescribed. Doctors don't prescribe that, or it doesn't
That's
apply.
yeah.
That's why we started
yeah.
the non-for-profit, because we were finding it hard for school districts or doctors or insurances to pay for that.
Justify, yeah.
And when
Unless
we-
it's a medical necessity, they call it.
But we
Yeah.
do have a few school districts that work with us. Windsor and Binghamton and Johnson City and
Wow.
what was the other one?
Newark Valley was before, I don't know if they are.
Yeah, but they've
In the past, yeah, we've
had students come and they'll put it right in their IEP for their school program, which is awesome.
So where is your facility?
We're on the top of Smith Hill Road in Binghamton.
Ah, I see. So whoever is engaged in this, they have to get there themselves, or does the school system sometimes provide transportation?
No, it's usually either a parent or a respite worker or some other community day
Volunteers.
have program that comes, yeah.
Right.
They find their own way there.
Yeah, that's a challenge. So sometimes you already have a disadvantage because you might need a special accommodation vehicle,
Right,
and then how do you get there? But
right.
it's just so neat that you have that available, and then they have to arrange things. But
Right.
so, what other interesting things along your history of? There must be some situations that are
So I'll
come to mind.
tell just a little bit about what hippotherapy does for the child. The movement of the horse is the only input that stimulates the same movement that humans use when they walk, their human gait cycle.
Right.
So when a child is sitting on the horse, their pelvis and their trunk are moving
They
in
get
3
swagger.
dimensions.
Yeah.
They go forward and back. They go side to side, and they get a rotation pattern, and it matches exactly human gait. So that's how we get a lot of success with, kids learning to walk after they start riding. It builds their core strength so they can really improve in getting stronger to be able to be upright for sitting and for standing and walking.
Right.
So that's, the baseline for getting progress and all our good stories. But another area that sees a lot of success with the horses is the autistic population. Sometimes children that are hard to reach or that you have a hard time connecting with, they'll bring them up to the barn and they just have this really special, beautiful connection with the horses. And they can bond with the horse, and it brings out so much out of the kids that, they will, where the other therapies might be unsuccessful, that where they don't listen to the directions, they don't want to do jumping on a trampoline or do their exercises on a ball, but they'll come to the horse and they can
Because that's
do
amazing.
all
That's
of
amazing.
their
You're sitting and
goals.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
probably these horses aren't very tall and big, or some of them.
No, they're about between 14
14.
and 15 hands. They're not very tall. They're not thoroughbreds that are like 17 hands or giraffes. I was just looking for a giraffe. For her, not for
They're
her.
plenty tall for me. I am like reaching overhead.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the safety, because you mentioned that when you're guiding a rider, that there's persons on each side, because I imagine some of the people that the clients may be a little bit incapable
Right.
of keeping themselves upright.
You're right.
there's
And you definitely have to have that insurance there that nobody's going to fall off.
Right.
there's all levels of ability. A lot of the kids can sit independently, and it might just take one person walking
Guide them.
beside or putting a hand on. But others that can't sit independently and we're helping to support on the horse, definitely you need 2 sidewalkers.
Yeah, and nobody's tied to a horse with a seatbelt or anything.
No, no,
No.
there's always a dismount plan.
In the case of an emergency. But,
Right.
And you probably have first aid kits, and you must be both trained probably
We're both
to.
professional
Yes.
medical professionals, yeah.
Yeah, in case there's because you never know.
Knock on wood, we haven't had the ambulance ever come 22 years.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good to know.
Right.
So if people are interested or have somebody in their family or household that can use something like this, how would they? What's your websites, or give us a contact information? How do people go about that? What would they look for? How do they Google you?
Okay, my website is stablemovements.com, and my contact information is on there. 607-727-7602 is my cell phone. They can also contact us through I Can Ride Inc. We're on Facebook. We do have a website, but we don't go to that very much. You can talk to your providers. I don't know if you have your own therapist, or if you have mental health providers or anything like that. Talk to them about it. I also have a veterans program there too. It's called Soldiers in Saddles, and we'd love to offer that. It's free to veterans. We have a funded program there.
That
So if
is
any
good to
veterans
know.
would like to come up, PTSD, war-wounded veterans, we run the gamut for that. And I've had some really great success with integrating soldiers into civilian life with their family, just having one opportunity to come out and do something different altogether with their kids or their wife or their significant
Wow.
other. Yeah,
You know,
I've seen some really great stuff there too.
What I'm feeling is that this is not just horse malarkey,
Yeah.
but it's a session of love.
Right.
That I can imagine that kids can only sit still for so long, and if you're at a disadvantage where movement in general is kind of withheld from you, that coming out and doing something spectacular like riding a horse, because they see things in movies, and there's not too many cowboy shows around anymore, maybe, but just the adventure of even though it's indoors mostly,
Okay.
you get the chance, like you say, the rocking, I call it swagger. You get the little movement in all directions.
And another thing we do is the children, they don't always ride forward. We'll put them on the horse, and for hippotherapy, we'll ride them sideways, backwards, on hands and knees, let them lay down on their back, try over their
Wow.
belly.
This is all with saddles, correct?
No.
No, we use a bareback pad
Oh.
and then a handled surcingle that may have handles or may not. So there can be a nice smooth surface. A lot
Right.
of the riders do use saddles that are trying to rein and to learn how to steer, but the actual hippotherapy sessions are usually on a bareback pad.
Oh, yeah, that's
So you can-
enlightening right there. Because I just imagined that everything was on with the saddle. The only experience I had was riding a horse with a saddle, and it
Right.
was when it galloped. You had that little horn you could hold
Yeah.
on to.
Well, if you look on our website at stablemovements.com, you could see a video. We have a video a long time ago somebody put up. Beth is 20 years younger than that one. But yeah, you can see some of the sessions in the video. They have some of the riders on there to show you what's happening there.
That is pretty neat. To see to actually watch what's happening. Because right now we have these images that we're talking about, and almost like a passive, safe rodeo adventure for the kids.
No, yeah, it's a
So-
therapeutic intervention is actually what it is. So.
What are your oldest clients that you've had, perhaps?
Oh, I've had. I had a lady just come because it was her birthday, and she was 83, and she wanted to get on a horse again. So we put her
Wow.
up on there and walked her around a little bit. That was just her special. But probably my oldest regular rider is probably in her 50s.
Oh.
Rose, probably.
Wow, it's still pretty neat.
Yeah, they're special needs. So functionally, they're a little bit lower cognitively, but physically, their body is 54 or whatever. So.
Right. Everybody's 27 on the inside
Yeah.
once they reach a maximum. But how you said 75 people a week sometimes?
It's our max in the summertime if you
Right.
include our camp, or sorry, our summer program.
You must have a lot of volunteers to manage all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we get a pretty good group in
It comes
there.
and goes?
Yep.
We need more.
Anybody can come. Yeah, we're always
Wow.
looking. We also have special needs adults that come out to do, if they're trying to learn about a job and how to work at a job, they'll come and help out and learn how to stay on task. And yeah, we have a great program, great community support. We just love it.
Yeah, it sounds like so much fun, and I really encourage anybody. You mentioned that you need more volunteers to fill up a schedule of 75 riders a week. That was right.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible, and it provides more safety the more people that you have. And
Yeah,
I'm
right.
sure you get the volunteers have a somewhat of a turnover. They're not always consistently always there. It can depends on people's schedule.
Right.
Particularly in the summer, some people want to take vacations, except for you because you can't take a vacation.
I have a pretty good support staff, so if I have to go for a long weekend, that's probably my max.
Right. We have about 1 minute left. Give us again your contact websites and encouragement that you can provide the community to help you out.
You can contact me, Theresa, at 607-727-7602, or go to our website, stablemovements.com. We also have a Facebook page, and our I Can Ride Inc. has a Instagram page. If you're into that stuff, you can look us up, I Can Ride Inc.
Nice. Nice. Well, I appreciate you both being here. We have like 30 seconds left.
So I'll tell you what Winston Churchill says, the outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man.
Wow.
Quote.
That is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Freddie's giving me the signal now that our time is up. And I want to appreciate Theresa Pedroso and Beth Parks for coming into the studio and talk to us about their equine adventures. God bless you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
Ben.
being
You
here.
have a great
Thank
night.
you very much.